What is up, everybody? It's Will here from TB3 Sports Talk for TBU Season 2 Bowl Edition. I'm here with Colby and Joel. We are so excited to talk to you about the South Florida Bulls in the Cure Bowl against Old Dominion Monarchs. That is Wednesday at 7 p.m. And, oh, man, I'm so fired up. I love bowl season. It's one of the best times of the year. The holidays are around, and you got football on every single day, and it's always somewhere fun. And it's always I think it's always just a fun game. Like, even if it's a blowout, it's a fun game. Everybody's battling. I like the G5s too. A lot of them have something to prove.
Yeah.
And, it's really fun. And you do get some entertaining games here and there. I love it. I love bowl season.
And think about, I was just thinking about last year, the Hawaii Bowl. I mean, what a cinema game there.
Yes.
5 overtimes takes you from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day.
That game was so good.
I mean, that was awesome. And, USF, they tend to play some exciting games. Obviously it's going to be the first game since Alex Golesh left. You got interim head coach Kevin Patrick, USF's defensive line coach. Fun fact about him, he was instrumental. This is his third stint with USF. So in the 90s or early 2000s, Kevin Patrick was instrumental in recruiting Jason Pierre-Paul to South Florida, one of the greatest, maybe the greatest South Florida Bowl of all time. And now Jason Pierre-Paul is back in Tampa Bay on the practice squad, and Kevin Patrick's the head coach of the Bulls.
Yeah, not to mention, too, George Selvey, Terrell McClain. I mean, some big names. And I think, I'll just say it, man, I hope Allridge and Brian Hartline, hope they keep him around, man. I think he's a great coach. I think you just look at the defensive line production has been great since he's come back. And I just think, man, keep him around. And he said in his presser a couple days ago, I bleed green and gold, man. Yeah. You want those kind of guys. I hope Hartline and Josh Allridge, the new defense coordinator, they keep him around.
Yeah, I agree. And it's very interesting. Like, Alex Golesh took a lot of this staff with him. I mean, Joel Gordon, he didn't take Todd Orlando, so I'm assuming Todd Orlando's sticking around coaching the defensive side.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Yeah, he'll be there, but a lot of this, support staff Alex Golesh took, but there's still plenty of guys. And Kevin Patrick, he labeled those guys the backbone of USF and the staff. And he says, you don't always get to see the fruit of their labor or kind of they don't always get the credit that they deserve, but these guys who are going to be thrust into these roles of head coach, play caller, stuff like that. These guys are getting an opportunity to show off what they've been doing behind the scenes in front on the field, which I think is a really, really cool opportunity. I think it's a really, really cool opportunity for USF. And, I mean, the big one here is, man, this is opportunity for USF to get to 10 wins. The Bulls have only got to 10 wins or more twice in their program's history. This would only be the third time USF gets 10 or more wins in the season, and they can do that. And, I mean, just to think about guys like Jalen Shuler, Mac Harris, these guys were around when USF was 1-11 in 2022. And now for them to play their final game in Orlando and potentially get the Bulls to 10 wins ahead of maybe their best period of football to come under Brian Hartline, I think is a really special moment, and I'm excited to see how these guys come out.
Yeah, I think, I just loved everything I was hearing from Kevin Patrick's presser, just saying how locked in these guys are. And how he just hasn't seen, a brotherhood and a love for one another that these guys have and the 30 seniors. And, from what it looks like, everybody's playing but the big guy, the big guns.
Yeah.
But for everybody else, man, I mean, that speaks volumes, for just, how much of an impact these seniors have had on the team and how they're just bought in with each other and want to play for each other. So I think that really sticks out to me. You see just about everybody playing. I know Byron Brown isn't. We'll get to that, but that really hit me, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've said it. All three of us have had the privilege of covering the team, being in the post-game press conferences, being around the guys that whether it was after practice or after games, being on the field. But the love that this team has for each other is very, very much palpable. It's very, very much that's something you can see even when you're not a part of it. Just being around them, you can see how much these guys love each other, how much they love their coaching staff, how much they love being South Florida Bulls. And I think it really shows with, like you mentioned, Will, how many people are playing in this game. You look at guys that, could be preparing for maybe a transfer portal or maybe for even the NFL. I mean, you look at Mac Harris. I think he's a guy who has a really good shot of getting drafted. But, I mean, I don't think for a second he considered not playing in this game. And you look at, guys like, I don't know what's going to happen, but you look at guys like Fred Gaskin, Jarvis Lee, Keyshawn Singleton. These are underclassmen that really, I think, would have spots and opportunities at high level Power 4 gigs, and these guys are all playing in this game as far as we know. So
stuff could change, but again, from what it was at the presser, everybody's playing.
Yeah. So very
3 days ago. 2
Yeah.
days ago?
It was on Thursday. So So really, really, really excited, and just I'm excited for the opportunity and just to celebrate this season, because this has really been one of the greatest seasons in USF Bulls history. You think about, going to Gainesville, knocking off the Gators in the swamp. And then you think about all the road games that USF played where the opponent, sold out their stadium to play USF. Just the name and the publicity that USF generated, the amount of times they were on national TV, just the buzz they created, the stellar play, the Byron Brown, storyline all season. Like, this is really one of the greatest seasons of USF Bulls history, and I'm just really excited to see USF be able to celebrate that in Orlando, hopefully with a big win over Old Dominion.
Mm-hmm. Should we get into
Let's
the
get
keys
into
to the
it.
game? Yeah,
I think the biggest key is whose backup quarterback is better.
Yeah, Kevin Patrick said, just kind of watching the film on Old Dominion, very similar teams. Both had dual threat quarterbacks. Both aren't playing. Old Dominion's Colton Joseph, he is entering the transfer portal. Byron Brown's kind of an interesting situation, which we can touch on in a second. But yeah, the Bulls will have Gaston Moore coming in for the start for the Bulls, and
Gas pipe.
He called it the greatest opportunity of his life, and he will give it all he's got. And man, can't ask for anything more, man. I'm just so pumped to see him get a chance to show off his ability, and that's somebody who came in, went to work. He wasn't going to be the guy, from day one, but he was a supporter of Byron Brown, came in when he needed to, at end of games, and gave it all. So I'm excited to see him, and I hope he can get the win for this team. You want to start with offense here?
Yeah. And just on the other side, Old Dominion, their backup quarterback is going to be, all right, let me get this name right.
I got it.
Quinn Heinickel. Kind of reminds me of Taylor Heineke when you think about his name. Don't love that when I think about what he did to the Buccaneers. But Quinn Heinickel, he is a redshirt freshman. He played last season. In his only career start, Quinn Heinickel went kind of crazy. Last year he started once. It was against Arkansas State. He had 143 passing yards, 206 rushing yards, including a 92-yard rushing touchdown, the longest in Old Dominion history. So this is going to be a game for USF's defense of stopping the rushing attack, because, man, this is going to be a tough rushing attack they will be facing.
Yeah, that's been really Old Dominion's bread and butter. And, Quinn Heinickel, he's big, he's tough, he's a solid guy. He is, he has experience, so it's not like there's going to be a crazy drop-off from Colton Joseph. But you got to look at this rushing attack. I mean, a lot of it came from their quarterback, Colton Joseph. He led the team with 1,007 rushing yards. I think what's crazy to me is the first game of the season, they played Indiana,
Tough.
the undefeated Big Ten champs. They ran for 218 yards on them. Joseph had 179 of those. But you look at Indiana's season, nobody even got close to that number. And I know it's week one, but hey, they can run the ball, and it really starts with the quarterback. I think that's a big thing. So they don't have them for this game, but they do have a quarterback who can also do his job and get those kind of numbers as well. So that's something that the defense really has to watch out for. They got great receivers too. I think Trey Brown III, Ja'Cory Thomas, Naeem Abdul, Raheem Gladding. What a name.
Yeah, it's an insane name. And then even in the running backs, like obviously Joseph led Old Dominion with 1,000 rushing yards, 1,007. But I mean, you got Traquan Jones. He's the Old Dominion's leading running back with 736 rushing yards this season. 7.6 yards per carry. Will, I mean that is a potent yards per carry mark. So this is going to be a real big challenge for USF. We know that they overall been pretty stout against the run. I think they're top 3 in the American and rushing yards allowed and yards per carry. But I mean, we've seen when these guys have had some lapses against good running attacks. I mean, you look at Miami, going over 200 yards, and then Navy going over 300 yards against them. So this is definitely going to be a challenge for USF's defense.
Yeah, I think the biggest key for me is to get some turnovers. You've seen South Florida be able to do that all season. One thing that sticks out to me is Old Dominion is dead last in the country in fumbles lost. They're also tied for 125th in the nation for turnovers lost. So that's something that the Bulls need to do. They've been doing it all season, and I think that could be what comes down at the end of the game is who can force turnovers, who can win the turnover battle, and I think USF should have the upper hand in that. Yeah,
USF is top 10 in the country in forcing turnovers, and Old Dominion is bottom 10 in the country in losing turnovers. So definitely a mismatch, definitely a huge storyline to watch. And, I mean, shifting back to the Bulls on offense, I mean, I think a big key in this game and in general is USF's running attack. I think this game really could go down to who is able to run the ball better, and I think a big key for USF is going to be Nakai Davenport. This is a guy who has really come on at the end of the season. The second half of the year, he really cemented himself as USF's lead back. He leads all USF running backs with 619 rushing yards. And he is, he's averaging, I think, over 6 yards a carry. And USF as a team, they rank 5th in the country, averaging 5.7 yards per rush on the season. This rushing attack has been really good. 8 of their final 9 games, USF went for over 200 yards rushing in the game. So their rushing attack's been really good, and I think they're going to need it if they want to have success on offense with Gaston Moore stepping in for Byron Brown.
Yeah, that's exactly my key to the game for the offense as well, and it really has to come from that running back room because I think the biggest thing is you won't have Byron Brown there to make some of the plays with his legs. We've seen him just do incredible things. He just would have a new highlight every week, a Heisman moment, hurdling guys, spinning, trucking people, and that's all gone for this game. You won't have any of that, so you really have to rely on the offensive line and your running backs to make those plays because I think Old Dominion's defense, they're like that, especially in the past game. They're one of the best in the nation in sacks, pressures. They're 23rd in passing yards allowed per game. I mean, they get after the quarterback. I looked it up. They got 16 different players on their defense who have a sack.
Wow.
That's pretty insane.
Man.
Yeah,
okay.
16 different guys. I mean, they will get after him. So if you become one-dimensional and you have to rely on more to pass the ball, and I know USF has the receivers, but these guys are going to tee off and they are going to come after you. It's a lot easier when you take away one facet of the game, so you really have to establish this run game. That's super important.
I think another thing, too, is how are these guys going to handle the absence of Golish? Is there going to be some emotional experience of, hey, our guy's not here anymore? So I think that's something you'll probably see early on. It's what's the I don't know, the attitude of the sidelines, maybe the spirit. I'm not sure what the words I'm looking for, but
yeah.
What's the mindset maybe?
Yeah, and it's all talk right now, but you feel confident and you like hearing the things that Kevin Patrick's saying, how they're locked in. So hopefully they don't have any issues with that. But
I hope there's a good attitude, a good morality, moral.
Yeah, morality. Yeah, I think morale.
That's what I want.
I think I liked what Cole Best, senior offensive lineman, said. I'm extremely proud of how all the players and everyone involved has handled this situation. He also said, I don't sense for a second that anybody on this team has blinked or hesitated. So I really think, again, like Will mentioned, it's all talk right now, but I think the mindset for this team is really good. And I think, again, while you don't have your leader as a coach, really the special thing about this team has been the player-led leadership. You still have Mac Harris in that room, which for my money is one of the best leaders in the entire country. You still have these big, Cole Best in this room. You still have Byron Brown in the room coaching because he's not Jalen Schuler, Tavin Ward, Deshaun Rucker. You still have these guys who have so much football under the belt that are probably a lot of them are playing their last football game ever. And you still have those guys in the building. So these guys are going to be able to help lead and help with that morale, like you mentioned, Joel. And I think, I think another thing to watch is, like, again, I love USF. I love what USF has done. I have a lot of respect for Old Dominion. There's going to be 10,000 people in that stadium on Wednesday. It's a 5 o'clock game on a Wednesday afternoon. Two, group of 5 teams. It's going to be kind of a sluggish game, I would assume, a sleepy game. 5 p.m. a weird. It's going to be a lot different than a lot of USF's games where, like you said, they've gone into these sold out stadiums. Raymond James has been very lively for a lot of their games. So how would they come out in an atmosphere like that, especially with the extended time off? Like, which team will punch first in this game will be a big key on who was able to win this game.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You
ready? Do you have anything else?
I'm trying to look. I don't know if I have any. Oh, I do want to mention that Gaston Moore will be stepping into an offense that, he is a new quarterback, but man, he still has a heck of a receiving group to throw to. Just want to mention, Keyshawn Singleton, he leads the Bulls with 50 receptions, 877 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns. If Keyshawn Singleton gets 21 receiving yards against the Monarchs on Wednesday, he will move into second all-time in single-season numbers for receiving yards. If he can get 123 yards, he will be only the second USF player in Bulls program history to have 1,000 receiving yards. Will, who's the other player?
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
If Keyshawn Singleton needs 123 receiving yards to become the second USF player to have 1,000 receiving yards in a single season, Will, who is the other player?
Scantling.
Come on, bro.
Who?
Look down.
Oh, Sean Atkins.
Sean Atkins, 2023. 2023. He's the only USF player to get 1,000 receiving yards. I was teeing you up because he got the shirt. I mean, everyone look at his beautiful Sean Atkins shirt. I mean, it's just gorgeous out here. But yeah, Singleton's really good. Mudir Rubin has come on strong in the last few games with some huge touchdown catches, and then also Jeremiah Koger, the standout freshman who's gone over 500 yards receiving, has been really, really good. So I think a lot. My confidence going into the game for Gaston Moore is the weapons around him. He has a great amount of receivers to throw into. He has a pretty easy offensive scheme to kind of fit into. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to what Golish has been running. So I have a lot of confidence in Gaston Moore for that reason. Old Dominion's on a 5-game win streak. They are playing really, really well.
They've had some great games.
Game, yeah.
I mean, they really played Indiana well, and I know it was the first week of the season, but you just look at some of the stuff they're able to do on offense. Nobody else really was able to do that.
They got a win over Virginia Tech. I know Virginia Tech was down, but that's still a Power 4 win. But
it is Power 4
it's
win.
A Power 4 win. They absolutely smoked the Sun Belt runner-up Troy in their conference game. They had 2 conference losses back-to-back. One was against JMU, who obviously is in the playoff right now. But this is a really, really, really good team. So it'll be a tough one. I'm ready to predict if you guys are ready to predict.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Joel, you start us off.
41-31 Bulls.
High-scoring ball game.
Yeah, like I said, I think the turnover battle will decide who wins this, and I trust that USF defense more than anybody else. I think they get the win. I think it'll be probably a higher scoring game. But I think, at the end of the day, it'll be 34-25 Bulls.
I think USF has a lot of motivation going into this one. I think they're going to play hard. I think the rushing defense with more of a traditional rushing attack, not having to go against a triple option Navy attack, I think that defense will hold. That defense will be able to slow down Old Dominion's rushing attack. So for that reason, I think USF wins. I think they're able to continue to score, and I think the defense plays really well. I like you said, Will, I trust this defense. I trust these guys who are going to be playing in their last collegiate games to kind of go out on top. I think the 10th win is a big motivation for this team, and for that reason, I got USF winning 37-24.
Yeah, and I think before we move on, just about Byron Brown, Rob Higgins said that he would be a assistant coach in this game, which I think is interesting that he'll still be around and a part of the team, not playing. And I think I think there's two outcomes for this. Like I really don't think it, and maybe this is crazy. I don't think he's transferring with that news. I think he's either one, which is. What is going on?
There's
out there?
people.
That's the cleaning ladies.
Yeah, I think
they're vibing out there.
Yeah, the most likely scenario is he's going to the NFL. I think
so. I would agree with that.
But oh man, you just kind of think maybe Heartline goes, man, I want Brown, have him ride it out one more year. We get some more tape, some more film. Maybe he gets a higher draft pick. Just want to keep him healthy, though. Don't want anything crazy to happen to him for next season. Want him healthy and ready to go when I get there. So that maybe not.
Maybe.
But I'm holding out hope, a little hope.
I think he's going to the NFL.
Yeah,
I think
the
it's
most likely,
and I think it's also it's a very good omen for Brian Hartline coming in with their discussion for Byron Brown to make the decision in the best interest of going to the NFL. What I mean is him, stepping away and deciding to sit out the bowl game and coach to, not jeopardize his health and stuff like that. I think that's a very good sign for Heartline with incoming recruits that, hey, I really am focused on your development as a player. I will do everything that it takes to get you to a spot where you are at the best spot to make it to the next level as possible. And I think he's proving that by kind of encouraging Byron Brown after discussion to, make the best decision for him in terms of his NFL stock, not his college stock, not his USF stock, but his NFL stock. So I think that is a good kind of like a show me moment for Brian Hartline for when he sells that he's going to develop, players into NFL players here at USF.
Or maybe he's just convincing him to stay.
I mean, maybe. I would say that of the most likely things that are happening, I think number one is NFL. I think number two is Brown transferring, and I think number three is him playing at USF. Unfortunately,
really,
I do. I think if he's going to come back to college, I think he's going to go somewhere where he can get $3 to $4 million and play in a sold out, huge stadium. That's just me. I think if he's going to play college football, it's going to be at Auburn next year. I think they like Deuce, but I'm just saying it'll be at a Big Ten or SEC school if he does.
Miami.
Ugh.
I gotta watch out for Miami. If he's gonna transfer, that's where I'm actually afraid that he'll go.
I think Levitt's going to go there. I could see Levitt going to Miami. I don't know. We'll see. Miami obviously loves their
maybe. I think
quarterback.
he's VT, Virginia Tech.
You think? Mm-hmm. Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, that would be pure electricity.
Yeah, that's where I think Levis going.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. I had seen that floating around. That would be pretty electric. I would love that. But yeah, let us know your score prediction in the comments down below for the Cure Bowl. Again, that is next Wednesday, December 17th at 5:00 in Orlando. If you got the time off work, if you got the ability, man, go see the Bulls out. It's a nice drive. It's a nice Camping World Stadium. It's a nice setting. And you can go watch the Bulls get their 10th game. Will's going to be there, boots on the ground. Hopefully they'll be able to go on the field, talk to Kevin Patrick and the guys after the game. And so, again, follow us on X and Instagram for live update coverage of the Cure Bowl because we will have boots on the ground in Orlando.
I'm going to try to get there early, maybe walk around the tailgate. So if you do listen to the show and you do recognize me, feel free to say hello.
Nice. Okay, real quick. This week, we got the college football playoffs. So this week, we have a quadruplet of matchups. Yeah, Will's got it pulled up.
Yeah, starting Friday, Alabama at Oklahoma at 8 p.m. on ABC. Then Saturday at 12 starts off with Miami at Texas A&M. 3:30, Tulane and Ole Miss. And then 7:30, James Madison at Oregon. And I'm excited. I really am. I think the committee got it right. I truly, truly believe they got it right. And I think the best way is to expand. I will still die on this hill, and I will say this till I'm blue in the face. The FCS does it right with the big playoff. Everybody gets a bid. Everybody gets a shot. And it's pure chaos, and it's awesome. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but it's always fun. Upsets happen. I think it's kind of the same thing we see. You look at some Ivy League schools getting into the dance for the first time, and Yale comes up with one of the craziest wins in like football I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, I think they need to do that, but I think for what they had, they got it right.
Yeah, I think so. I think the whole Alabama conundrum is interesting. Like, I think that you don't want to discourage teams from playing conference championship games, but also you have to watch what happens on the field, and I don't think you should just discount how poorly Alabama's been playing. So, I don't know. I think Notre Dame got robbed a little bit, but at the end of the day, you just should schedule better teams, and you should join a gosh darn conference if you want that problem
just
to happen.
win. Just win the game. Like, I think that's the biggest thing. I don't have any sympathy for teams who get left out because, again, you win. And especially like in Notre Dame's case, there were 2 teams in the CFP that you played and you lost to both of them. Just win those games, man.
Yeah.
Just win the games.
I agree. And also, I'm a proponent of reduction. I think it should be 8 teams.
It's too big. You need more, and you need everybody to have a shot, and the talent will even out, and it'll compete.
If you do 16,
you'll be able to compete more.
I'm all right. Because I just don't like the buys. I don't like the breaks. I think first thing is you should be playing every Saturday through the playoffs. There should not be these breaks. There should not be playing around these bowl games. Play the games on campus. Figure out your deals with the bowl games later. Maybe play the semifinals there. But, man, just this past Saturday should have had games. This next Saturday should have the quarterfinals. There's no reason the national championship game should be played on January 19th. It's too late. Last year, the college football lost so much steam. Nobody was really locked into no one was really locked into the national championship game. You got to get it done early. It's always been the first or second week of January. You have to get it done then. There should not be these break weeks. I love Army Navy, but they can play simultaneously with the playoff. They can do it. I promise.
But what if they have a playoff game? What if Navy wins the American?
Then you just skip the game for the thing. I mean, they're going to have to just figure it out. If you're doing this and that's big of a deal, just play Army Navy on week 0 and figure it out. Make it the first game of the season.
I just think our nation's future heroes deserve a standalone.
Then do it. Yeah, do what he said. Do it just like a July game,
or not July. It could be weeks. It could be like the first game of the season. Make it Army Navy. That's a great way to set the tone. It's ugly games, anyways. I know you like the cold weather for it, but I mean, let the troops play in the heat. They love that too.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
I just think too early in the season, people forget about it. Like, it's at the end and you go, man, I just love, like, you're just getting a football craze and addiction, and you're like, oh, I just want more football. And that's like, oh, yes, Army, Navy, and it's always a close game. End of the year. I love it. That satisfies me for 1 week, and then we get to the bowl game.
Other way around.
I totally disagree. I think people are itching for football so much that if you played Army, Navy week 0 to start the season, more people would watch that game than they would last week, because people.
I didn't watch it. I had errands to do. It's Christmas time.
No, I actually totally.
People barely watch week 0. Like,
if it's Army Navy though,
I don't think
my
so.
TV
I bet that Iowa State Kansas State game was one of the most watched games of the season.
No shot. Nobody was watching.
I bet it had pretty good viewership.
I was watching, but nobody else.
I bet more people watched that. This is a good exercise. I bet more people watched the Iowa State Kansas State game than they watched Army Navy.
No shit.
I wouldn't say. I don't think that's a ridiculous claim. Anyways, I think you should be playing. But anyways, we got the system. I'm happy for it. I love college football. I'm gonna rapid fire. I'm going my picks this weekend. Really feeling weird because I think Alabama is a better team than Oklahoma. Like, I really think Oklahoma just lucked their way into the playoff. I don't think they're one of the 12 best teams. But Alabama's just playing horrible football, and it's at Oklahoma, so I'm gonna go Oklahoma. But I don't know. And then I hate Miami, and I always hate Miami. and I'm going to go with Texas A&M. They're at home. I think people have discounted them. They had a bad game against Texas, but Texas A&M has been one of the best teams in the country all season long. I think they continue that. They beat Miami at home, and I think Ole Miss and Oregon handily beat the G5 teams to finish off the night.
Ditto. Every single pick, ditto.
Here we go. I think both teams are overrated. I think Alabama's clearly overrated, and I think Oklahoma's overrated. Having that game at Norman, I think that gives Oklahoma the upper hand, and I'm going to give it to them. And just again, Alabama's been playing terrible, and
really bad.
It's hard to beat a team twice, but I think Oklahoma's got the upper hand there. Something tells me Miami's going to go into College Station and win. I seriously think Miami's going to win. They finally get their chance after all the crying and complaining, and I think they are going to upset Texas A&M. I think they 100% will. I don't know if either G5 team has a shot, but I do think, I think Tulane legitimately has a shot, and I know you can say earlier in the year that they got blown out, this and that. I just think with the whole Lane Kiffin situation, all this, they're trying to really cover it up. I think it's just a terrible, terrible situation in Oxford. I don't think it's as good as it seems, and everybody's all happy. Oh, we love Pete Golding. We love him. No, I don't know about that. I would really put Ole Miss on upset watch against Tulane. I seriously think so. I think that'll be the closest out of two games. But then, hey, man, anything can happen. Anything's possible. JMU just shocked the world. That's all you got to do, and everybody will shut their mouth. So I'll be rooting for both of them. I'll be rooting for James Madison. I'll be rooting for Tulane. But, they probably don't get the wins. But if anybody were to,
it'd be Tulane.
It's Tulane. I think they have a legit shot. I don't think it's as far-fetched maybe as the other one.
But I think Tulane can keep it close in the first half. I think Ole Miss will just be a little bit too much offense for them in the second half. John Summerall's not getting his playoff win until next year when he's with the Florida Gators, but that's a whole different story. Next round, we will see the winner of Miami or Texas A&M play against Ohio State. I think Ohio State wins that game.
Yeah, well, I'll just cut to the chase. I mean, I think it's going to be a rematch of the Big Ten championship.
And the championship?
Mm-hmm. And Ohio State wins. Ohio State gets revenge. That's my prediction.
I am going to go on a limb here. I think that neither of those teams are going to make the Big Ten or the national championship game. I think in the rematch, I think Oregon will take down Indiana in the semifinal, and I think Georgia absolutely owns Ohio State, and I think those teams will play each other, and I think the Oregon Ducks are going to be your national championship team this week or this year.
You know what? I'm going Oklahoma. Just
Boomer Sooner.
Baker Mayfield. He's going to empower them. He's going to say, "Hey guys, win this for me," and they will.
Wow, that's chill.
Also, Army Navy doubled the Ireland game.
Really? I guess I was wrong. I eat my words. I apologize, but I think Army Navy would double its thing if they played on week 0.
Does Indiana have a shot?
To what?
Indiana's in the playoff, right?
Yeah, they're number 1.
I was gonna say. I mean, I'm looking at them like, you think they got a shot?
Oh yeah, I'm not picking them, but they got a shot. They're the favorites. Right. They just beat Ohio State.
I just didn't know if they were like in their courtesy or something.
No, they're the number 1 team in the country.
I mean,
man.
I'm looking at it. I was like, it's Indiana.
Dude, okay. One more question before we go. As Ohio State fans, or as USF fans, are we Ohio State fans in the playoff? Are we rooting for Brian Hartline?
He's going to win it again. He's going to be a back-to-back national champ coming to South Florida to change the culture, and we're going to be in the playoff next year.
I just can't shake it. I just can't root for Ohio State. I haven't liked them my entire life, and I'm just not gonna. I'm not changing. I think Brian Hartline's a good dude, but I'm just not changing. That's just me. I'm stubborn. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like really a lot of teams, but I don't mind Ohio State. I'm neutral. If they played South Florida, I would root for South Florida, obviously, and just about a couple other teams. But yeah, don't have any hate towards them. Don't dislike them. Just neutral.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Let us know your predictions. Who do you guys got winning the national championship game? What do you guys think is going to happen in the Cure Bowl this Wednesday? Again, you want to follow us on social media, Instagram, X. We got live updates coming from the stadium at Camping World Stadium. We're going to have press conference clips. We're going to have, interviews. We're going to have field content, breaking news. Yeah, trophy celebration. We're going to know who's going to be playing. Will be down there. He'll figure out who's playing, who's not playing. He will be in the thick of it telling you guys. So you want to follow us on Instagram at TB3 Sports Talk. You want to follow us on X at TB3 Sports Talk. Again, comment down below, share this video with a friend, subscribe on YouTube, and most importantly, have a beautiful and blessed night.